Crystal with Frosted Saddle here, and today I want to show y'all how to make some luggage tags out of fabric. Here's one, and it's got an elastic strap on it. My grandkids get to go to Disney World next month, and I'm excited for them. So they got new luggage for Christmas, and I decided to make them some little luggage tags. So here's one. It's got Captain America on the back. They have little vinyl covers on them. Here's old Spider-Man. And here, Disney World. Duh, we got to do Minnie Mouse. And so these are, they have a little vinyl piece on the front. What I did is I jumped on Canva and just made some little tags to put inside. You can just make them the credit card size, and business card size, and then they go just right in that little pocket there. Okay. I hope y'all have fun with these. Stay tuned. I'll show you how to make them. They're quick and easy, y'all. Okay. I'm going to show you how to make your own pattern. You're just going to get a little scrap piece of paper and take your ruler, and it's going to be 3 1/4 inches wide. So you're just going to put your measurement marks on the little lines on your ruler. Cut it 3 1/4 inches wide. And then it's going to be 5 1/4 inches tall. So just put it on your ruler, measure over 5 1/4. You cut that. And then next you're going to take it and you're going to fold it exactly in half. And then to get the little tabs on the edge right here, we're just going to take that open measurement there. We're going to put it on our grid lines on our mat. You're going to cut on this 1 inch line. You're going to go 1 inch here down to 1 inch here. Get that line straight. You can mark it with a pen, or you can just use your ruler. And there you've got your piece. You're going to cut 2 of your fabric, and you're going to cut 2 of a heavyweight interfacing. And I'm already started here. Let's go to the next step. We're going to cut another pattern piece, and it is for our vinyl. It needs to be 2 3/8 inches wide by 3 3/4 inches long. And you can get just one of those cut out per luggage tag. When you're cutting out your pattern, you need to cut 2 of the fabric. If you have a patterned fabric, you want to be mindful of the direction of it. So when you're cutting it out, you want this to be towards the top. If you have a pattern you're wanting to fussy cut around, like my grandkids are going to Disney World next month, and so I'm making them these luggage tags to put on their new luggage that they got for Christmas. And so I want to kind of put that on one side. Now, one side of it will be, you'll be able to see, but on the other side is where the little card will go with their name and address on it. That'll go inside that vinyl. Okay, so you really just need one side that'll point. On this one, I've got Marvel, and I could either use the Hulk or I could use Captain America. Probably go with this guy for my grandson. So when you're cutting it out, just kind of see where you want it placed. And this one would work on either side since both of them are facing different. So I'm just going to pin this on my fabric where I want to cut it, my pattern piece that I made. And then you're just going to cut around it. So I'll be able to use either one of these. Which one should I do? Okay. And then you're going to do the same thing and get 2 pieces of heavyweight interfacing. And interfacing is kind of bumpy on one side. That's the side that we'll place on the wrong side of the fabric, and then we'll press them on each one of our pieces. Next, we're going to cut out one piece of vinyl for each luggage tag. And so you can use the little pattern you made that's 2 3/8 by 3 3/4, or you can just put your ruler down and measure over that much. I'm doing 3 more, so I'm going to go ahead and cut out 3 at a time. You want to leave the paper backing, which is kind of like a tissue paper, on the back. I'm just going to cut that right there so it doesn't shift around, because I want the tissue paper to match the size of the vinyl, because I'm going to sew it on with the tissue paper on the top. So once I have that, my vinyl stuck to my ruler. So I'm going to turn it over to the paper side. Make sure it's all lined up. And then I'm going to lay it out. And we're going to cut it from the tissue paper side so it doesn't stick on there. So we make sure and get our measurements exact. So it needs to be 3 3/4. I just use the lines on my quilting ruler to do that. There's one. See, it's got that paper on the back. Make sure it's still all lined up. We'll go over 3 1/4, 3 3/4. Cut out our other ones. You can just kind of see if it's lined up. It's kind of shiny behind there. So we've got all the pieces we need. Okay, I have my pieces wrong side up, face down, and I kind of have this little protective cover for my ironing board. Then I'm going to put the interfacing with the bumpy side down and put it on top of each one of these. It should match up. And then I always use a Teflon pressing cloth on top of that. That way, if you've got your interfacing on wrong, it won't ruin your iron. Just press it down for about 10 seconds on each side. Press them both. And then I like to turn it over and press from the other side to make sure it's adhered good. And that's so cute. Okay, you're going to fold your piece of elastic in half, and you're going to clip it to the top edge, right in the middle. On your other piece, you're going to mark the very bottom, and you're going to mark it, you're going to leave open 1.5 inches in the center. And then we're going to place right sides together. Now, I tried using some elastic cord, this cording elastic, and it pulled right out. So use 1/4 inch elastic. And then you're just going to place it right sides together and pin all your edges even. There's going to be bulk in there from the elastic, so just make sure all your edges are even. Then we're going to go ahead and start at this mark here and go all the way around we're going to sew 1/4 inch around the tag, leaving that opening at the bottom. So I've got my machine set up for 1/4 inch. Right from the edge, I had to move my needle over. Reverse to your mark. Mark, set, go. Now I'm holding my finger down and holding that elastic in there real good. And you're going to sew over it about 3 times, going back and forth. Next, we're going to trim the sides and the corners. Trim the corners. Going to trim that little edge off there, that little corner. You're going to leave the top at 1/4 inch. Next, you're going to turn it right side out through that bottom opening. You can do it. Just start pulling it through. Push it out with your finger as much as you can. Next, you can use a chopstick or a knitting needle or a point turner. I use my little purple thing. It's got a real nice end on it to poke through. Just be careful you don't poke the material through the seams. It has an edge on the back where you can kind of get those side seams poked out. Press all your corners out. Push all your corners out. Poke them through there. Now we're just going to pull all these out. And that's so cute. So cute. Okay, and then you're going to use your fingers and you're going to press under or push under about 1/4 inch to where your edges are even there. And I need to poke these corners out a little bit more, and then we're going to go press it. You're going to sew 1/8 inch from the edge all the way around. I'm using a mark on my presser foot. We're going to sew over the elastic at least 2 times again. Trim your threads. I like cuticle scissors for this. Now you can see, got your 1/8 inch all the way around. Now we're going to pick the side to put the vinyl on. And I think this side is more centered. So I'm going to put the vinyl on this side because the card that you slide in there will cover it up. So I want that one on the back. Okay, to do this, we're going to place our vinyl on the back. Now, if you can get in a light where it kind of is reflecting off of it, can you kind of see that? You can kind of center it on there. So center it on there. It should just almost be reaching your 1/8 inch marks that you just sewed. So kind of get it centered on there. And we're going to clip it instead of pin it because we don't want to poke it through the vinyl. We're going to do it kind of right on the edge there. And it's easier if you'll just put it right on the edge on 4 corners. Kind of make sure it's smoothed out. And then you're going to put your tissue right over it. This is easiest to do if you put those pins on the vinyl first, because you want to sew on top of the tissue paper. So I'm just going to take and unclip that and clip it back to where it's covering that vinyl. And then we're going to leave this top edge right here open. So we're going to sew down these 3 sides. And I think it's best if you sew 1/4 inch from the edge. That way all your stitching will look even, especially if you have a contrasting thread. So get your 1/4 inch seam set. Gonna back stitch and then stitch all the way around. And then reverse stitch on there to set your seam. And trim your threads. And if you'll look from the back, see how even your stitches are since you did it 1/8 of an inch from the edge and then 1/4 of an inch from the edge. Ain't that pretty? And then on the front, you're just going to take and grab just the tissue paper and you're just going to rip it off. It should tear right where your seams are. If it doesn't, you can just go through, start pulling it off. Just make sure you grab just the paper. This is a business card size. I'm going to print some off with my kids' names on them and address. And then they can just slide it right in there. Ta-da! Now when you're ready to put it on your suitcase, you just put this through the handle. And then you're going to just pull it through like that. And then it'll... Let me just show you on here. So you'll put that through the handle and then you'll slide this. That's why it's good to have elastic. And then it's ready to travel.